Hello and welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. I'm Aurelio Martinez, Stephen Johnson. I'll tell you, this episode we're going to talk about our amateurs, the amateur scene, and we like to keep everyone abreast on the amateur scene. And of course, you know, there's going on now. We're going into Olympic year. We're Olympic year now. So Steve, what's been happening in the amateurs? Tell us the movement that we've been seeing.
Well, you know, radio as we've got there, our U.S. Olympic team as such. You know, I shouldn't even call it a team because they have to qualify first in order to go to Rio. They have some qualifiers that have the opportunity to go to Rio in. But the controversy now has come up is just like it did in 2012. There was an article on Fight Hype magazine where Percy Crawford came up and interviewed Barry Hunter.
Yeah.
And Barry Hunter was very critical of the United States boxing and saying that, you know, they have all these coaches that will have all this knowledge here. You remember I actually put up a piece on InsideBoxing.com discussing this whole thing, and it's kind of gotten, you know, to a point where now it's going to generate a lot of interest because, as we've been talking about for the last 3 years, no one is concerned at all about it until now we get to this point. These coaches all knew what was going to happen. Barry Hunter and some of the other coaches that are highly respected coaches now are starting to, you know, give a little lip service to it. But as we said in the piece, is it self-serving or is it reality?
Well, let me tell you, the biggest problem in the amateurs, okay, because I've been involved with the amateurs for quite some time, and the biggest problem with the amateurs is no one wants to speak out. Mm-hmm. Okay, no one wants it because they all want to be that person, to be part of that neighborhood, let's call it. Okay.
Are you talking about the boxers or
all of them? Boxers, okay. Coaches, everyone. Okay. And now that it's obvious that, you know, they're bringing in coaches from out of the country, and they're basically slapping the coaches here. Good coaches here like Abdul, Al Mitchell, Hunter, and all these other. You know, they see the light. They can wait as long as they want. It's not going to happen. Okay, so now they're starting to become outspoken, and they're starting to complain. This goes back years. This isn't anything new. But exactly. No one wanted to say anything because they didn't want to hamper their possibilities of being a head coach. And now that the realization has come in that, hey, you're not going to be the head coach of anything. So now the outrage, now the complaining. Because they have nothing to lose. Okay, same thing with the boxers themselves. No one wants to take that step out of the box because they want to be that Olympic pick. You know, that Olympic hopeful. You know, they want to be the one that's on the side of the fence where USA Boxing. So basically, that's always been the problem, and it isn't going to change. And people are going to see that in this upcoming Olympic year. As I've always said in the past, USA Boxing is broken. It's been broken. It never was fixed. Even when they changed their name to the old name, when they completely fell apart and had to go bankrupt and stuff and come back as USA Boxing, it was never fixed. It still had the same groupies, the same. Everyone that wants to be, it's like a Gestapo. Everyone's a general. You know, you do what I say, or you're not going to be part of the proceedings. Okay, that has to change, and whether it changes it or not, I don't think it's ever going to change. You know, I've been outspoken as far as this Teofimo Lopez. You know, he did an interview on ESPN. And was crying wolf because he won the 132-pound division, but there was no winner going to come from the 132 because that person had already been selected.
Carlos Balderas from the WSB.
Carlos Balderas, he went through the AIBA system and the WBS system and was picked to go. He doesn't have to go through any qualifications, so that kind of left everyone else in the 132. So,
but see, that's a little bit unfair when you say that. He didn't have to go through the qualifications. Yes, he did. Carlos Balderas
USBA
went through the WSB, and he qualified there. And like I said, this is a major problem for all the boxers and the coaches that said they didn't know. I've said this all along that AIBA was very transparent in what they were doing. We had talked about it before that they were slotted. There was a numbers of some of the weight classes were slotted, but for WSB, they're champions to go into. Carlos Balderas was able to go because the top two winners, automatically had berths, but they qualified through their own country, so that's where they went. Absolutely. They trickled down to him, and he goes. Yep. So although I feel for Lopez, my first question, like we talked about before, is why all these kids went to the Olympic trials at 132. They knew,
and we're going to see
the slot was already taken.
We're going to see Lopez because what I'm saying is you can't cry wolf when it was already understood that weight division already had a representative. So you went out to Reno and went through the whole process of fighting and all this good stuff. And what I'm saying is he can cry wolf and all that, but the outcome strongly and may very well had a different outcome had the top 132-pound contenders all went to Reno, but you didn't have them. You had Gennaro Gomez, who was heartbroken because he couldn't go in the 132.
From California?
San Diego, California. Okay, I talked to his dad, and his dad told me, well, why should we go through the expense of traveling to Reno and it's just like another show. Okay, so he didn't go, and then you didn't have you didn't have a lot of the top quality boxers go to Reno. So my question is, is it a true beef that he can say he qualified for the Olympics because he didn't have to fight the top brass in 132? So we're going to see it. I mean, obviously, tell me, did he not? Is he not going to represent Honduras now?
No, he is.
In the Olympics.
His mom and dad are from Honduras.
Okay.
He was born here in the States, but his mom and dad are here in Honduras. USA Boxing gave him his release. Okay. And he went to Honduras. Actually, went on a trip down there, and Honduran government was opening with welcome arms. The kicker is, remember, Honduras doesn't have a team.
So he's the only one.
He's the team.
Yeah.
Okay. So. And it'll be interesting to see how far he goes.
I wish him well because now he barked big, strong and loud.
Yeah.
So now that he's going through the Olympics, albeit it's not with the USA team, but it's with Honduras, but he is going there.
Yeah.
So now he has his opportunity.
Well, he has to go qualify now.
Well,
like everybody else.
He's the only one.
Right.
He's the only one. Right. So he'll be there. He's the only one.
No, he's got to go qualify through the Olympic qualifiers, no? He's got to go to Argentina in March. If he doesn't make you do that, he
may not. Okay, so now
he might not make that.
So we need to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We'll keep an eye on him and see what he does. Yeah. Because his focus right now, he said all he really wants to do is fight Carlos Balderas to show who should have been representing the United States. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
The only other thing that we wanted to keep an eye on is that, and I know I'm going to put us out on a limb here, Aurelio. USA Boxing has yet to name, they named their women's coach. It's Billy Walsh from Ireland.
From Ireland, right.
Okay, and they've yet to name their men's coach. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe that the men's coach is going to be Billy Walsh. They paid him too much money. They gave him just one of the sweetest packages that you could give. So my interest is going to be who he picks to be his coaching staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
there's a couple of names that I know you already know, and all of you already know that we can't see on there. Or there's going to be a major hubbub about it. But some of the coaches that probably can go, but there's one coach in the name that cannot be on there. And so we'll just wait and see how this all plays out.
Yeah. And you may be right. I know they did send out. USA Boxing did send out the applications for that position.
Did you get an application?
I got an application.
So you're going?
No, I didn't fill it out. I have no interest in getting involved with the theatrics that are involved. Number one, if I go as a coach, then it's going to be my way. Win, lose, draw, or die. It's going to be my way. It's not going to be where I'm going to have someone overseeing how I do my coaching and how I do my training. Plus, so no. The answer to that is no.
What, Aurelio, one thing before we go, the thing that we keep on saying, all you people keep hearing is USA Boxing, AIBA, WSB. The one name that you don't hear is USOC. Scott Blackman and the USOC have been very quiet.
Very quiet.
And haven't said anything, and they're letting USA Boxing take the heat. But guess what, Mr. Blackman? We're going to turn the heat up on you, buddy, in the next couple of months. Because if USA Boxing, is going to take all this heat, Mike Martino, the executive director of USA Boxing, has already let it be known that he's on the way out. So Scott Blackman, you're going to have to take the heat, and I don't mind putting the pedal to the metal.
And I never understood that either. I know we're out of time, but I never understood that either because the USOC, United States Olympic Committee, they are the overseers
of it all.
Of United States.
Yes.
And how we determine our team and how we determine who we're going to send to represent. It's them. No
all
one
sports,
else.
not
It's
just
them.
Boxing, all sports.
But yes, they've kind of faded into the shadows and they're letting AIBA slap USA Boxing all over the place. I mean, just literally slap them, and they're not doing anything.
We'll get into it later on, but I have some more opinions about that.
Okay.
But I want to make sure I have all my ducks in order before we unload. And it's going to be a double barrel shotgun.
Anyway.
Radio, good episode. Good episode. We're going to come back, and as you guys know now, we have what we call our feature episode. We're going to come back, and this time we're going to do a little bit something different.
It's still a throwdown.
But tell them a little bit about what we're doing. Or you want to just wait?
This show is throwdown. So
Okay.
we're going to leave you right now with this little teaser because it's a throwdown.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you what, we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. Okay? I'm telling you what, this is a throwdown, and just come back and see us. Huh?
All right.
So,
We'll be back in a few minutes, but as
till
we
then,
leave everyone, hey,
keep them hands
keep
up.
them up, baby.